If you want to address this, number one, it's an outright lie. It's a Toronto Star going after me again and again and again. They're relentless. That's fine. I'll go head to head with the Toronto Star anytime. Let's just wait. Let's just wait till the election is, and then we'll see what happens. But I'm second. It's pathological. It's just lies after lies and lies. And I've called you pathological liars, and you are. So why don't you take me to court? Let the courts decide. You guys are liars.
That is a fiery Rob Ford fighting back against the Toronto Star today. He's calling allegations he has a drinking problem an outright lie. And the Star reported the mayor was asked to leave a military gala dinner last month because he allegedly appeared intoxicated. Now, the story cited unnamed sources and claimed sources close to the mayor say he needs to get help. The mayor, though, calls the report absolute nonsense. For more on this, let's bring in our Sun News contributor and Toronto radio talk show host, Jerry Agar. He is standing by live for us. Jerry, I want to start with your reaction to this latest report in the Star and the mayor's fiery reaction today.
Well, it was that fiery reaction that was the biggest surprise. I think people have known in media and maybe other people in politics, et cetera, are paying attention to this, that the Star has been working for some time to try to put a story together that has to do with Mayor Rob Ford and drinking. But for Mayor Rob Ford to react the way that he did in that fiery manner is pretty interesting. I mean, he basically said to their faces, "You're pathological liars. Go ahead and sue me." Of course, I guess they could come back and say, "Well, go ahead and sue us then, if that's what you think." The mayor's been winning lately in court. But what I find most interesting about this story, there were a lot of unnamed sources. There were only two named sources, really, and those sources were people who said that he was not drunk and out of control at that event. There were 800 people there, Sneha. I find it amazing that an excellent reporter like Kevin Donovan, who did this story, could not find one person who would be named out of 800 who would say, yes, I saw the mayor and he was drunk.
Yeah, certainly the volume of stories the Toronto Star has done against the mayor does raise questions about their motivation. Even at this press conference, Jerry, what's interesting is it was meant to be a press conference honoring boxing legend George Chuvalo. And the mayor asked the media to show some respect for the boxer, at which point a reporter, I'm told a Toronto Star reporter, actually then asked Chuvalo, the boxer, about his own past issues with substance abuse and if he had advice for Ford. What are your thoughts? Is this just going too far? It seems like a full-on media pylon.
Well, let's be honest here. We were all interested in what kind of response he would give, and we carried the press conference on my show on News Talk 1010 here in Toronto, and we probably wouldn't have if it was just an ordinary handing out of the key to the city. No disrespect to George Chuvalo, who's due a lot of respect and seems like a fine gentleman and was a big supporter of Ford, but we were carrying it simply to see whether or not there would be some questions. There was the one. The mayor gave his fiery answer, and then they all moved on. So I guess we're all a part of it in that regard, but there is no media entity in this city that has it out for Rob Ford the way the Toronto Star does, and I found it a little disappointing that I think their best investigative reporter, Kevin Donovan, is a part of this, because I'm starting to wonder whether or not he's starting to be affected by that, what I think is an irresponsible editorial attitude on the part of that paper.
Now, Jerry, I know you've spoken to Rob Ford in the past. Councillor Doug Ford as well has been on your radio talk show, as well as a number of other Toronto City councillors. Have you ever heard concerns from the Ford brothers or any other councillors about the mayor having any kind of alleged substance abuse problem?
No, I have not. People who don't like the mayor make these allegations, and it may well be he had some instances before he was elected, which the voters were well aware of, and it may well be he's one of those people who occasionally has too much to drink, and maybe there's a little bit of trouble. But this is my problem with what the Star is doing. There has not ever been a credible allegation, or even an allegation, that there's been trouble at City Hall because of it, that he has not done his job because of it, and quite frankly, a lot of people I heard from today are agreeing with me, Sneha. I'd just as soon have somebody who is a flat-out drunk, who cares about the taxpayers, than the kinds of people who oppose him, who would just spend more and more and more. And for some reason, the reason they hate him is because he wants to clean up the City Hall budget. It's dysfunctional.
Yeah, well, very interesting, and I know there's going to be a lot of debate, a lot of reaction to this one. Thank you so much, Jerry, for joining us with your thoughts today.
Thanks.